All right, I have a question here, and this is, of course, all of our experts' favorite question to hear. What is your favorite new innovation in Splunk Search? And I will let Jeff go first.
Yeah, well, this may have been a staged question with a staged answer, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know how many of you on the call have heard about this, but for those of you that haven't, at .conf this year, which was in June, we actually went generally available with our very first generative AI assistant. It's the AI assistant for SPL. So I've spent a lot of my last 6 months really focused on that product, its capabilities, and the value that we hope and expect that it's going to have for our customers. So I think just one of the main things that I want to make sure everybody understands, just in addition to knowing that this thing exists, is that the reason why we built it is because it's really designed to help newer users learn SPL more quickly. And if you are on this call and you're kind of one of those seasoned Splunk ninja, Splunk admins, and you have users in your organization that you wish were using Splunk more often, or you wish they understood how to write SPL queries as effectively as you do, so that one, they could get the outcomes that you're getting from your data, or two, they could just not bother you as much. That's really what the AI assistant for SPL is designed to do, is to really try to level those users up while removing some of the burden of question and answering and SPL writing from the seasoned SPL ninjas and Splunk admins. So it's pretty exciting feature, and it's also really cool that it's our first generative AI application.
Jeff, do you have a demo that you can share on the AI assistant? Do you have something pulled up? Because that would be even better.
I do. Wow, it's almost like we planned this. Let me share my screen really quick. Yeah, if you can stop, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So I guess the one thing I'll say is that if you go out, the app is on Splunk base. I probably should have had this pulled up, but look how quickly I can get it there. So the app is called the Splunk AI Assistant for SPL cloud version. It is currently a cloud-only offering. More on that in a minute. When you get the app installed in your environment and you launch the app, this is kind of the main screen that you'll see here. The assistant has three main capabilities. It's going to help you write SPL, explain SPL, and tell me about. So write SPL is going to allow you to provide a natural language prompt. So just kind of some sort of a sentence or a question of what you're looking for. And it's going to then turn around and provide the user the SPL associated with that prompt. Explain SPL is pretty much the opposite of that, right? We're providing an existing SPL query and we're looking to get a natural language description of it. And then tell me about is going to be trained based on our Splunk-based documentation. So where you would otherwise go out and ask, a question, or read our Splunk docs, you can just ask that question directly in the assistant. So kind of here's what it looks like. I kind of went through an example of each of these. So imagine that, again, I'm a newer Splunk user. I'm a security administrator, and I've started getting network traffic from a region that we don't do business in. Maybe I suspect that there's a change that's been made to an AWS security group that's causing the problem, but I don't understand what the SPL query is that would help me prove that that did or didn't happen. So what we would do is we'd kind of click new chat, we do write SPL, and then down here in the prompt bar, we'd put in what our prompt is. In this case, I said, write SPL to find modifications made to an AWS security group. So here, let's just do this in real time and hope that the demo gods are working in my favor. So we put that in there, and then the generative AI is going to begin, kind of producing the response for you that you're then going to use. And so you have a couple different options. It's obviously going to give you the SPL. It's going to give you a nice little explanation of what the SPL is. You can just copy the SPL if you want, and just it'll copy right into your clipboard. Or more likely, if you think this is pretty close and you want to run this search, you can click open and search. And then It's generative AI, so we do have to understand that it may not produce perfect SPL every time. So let's go ahead and just see here if there's any modifications I need to make. Oh, you know what? This probably environment doesn't have any AWS security group modifications made to it, so I'm not going to get any results back. But that's, again, if we just popped it open in search, and then we're going to be able to kind of see the results associated with that. And the other thing I want to mention on the main screen here is that if you really like the response that was here, you can do kind of a thumbs up. And if you don't like the response, then you can do a thumbs down. So providing this feedback is optional, but if you do that, obviously you can tell us why you provided the feedback, give us any additional information. This is going to flow back to Splunk for periodic review, and we use this information in order to basically continuously improve the model. So, like I said, explain SPL, very similar. So in this particular case, maybe somebody's sending you a Slack with an SPL query, right? You don't know what it is, or somebody wrote a dashboard or a dashboard panel and you don't know what that panel's doing. What we can do is we can grab that SPL and just paste it into the assistant, and then we're going to get this nice natural language description of what's going on here. And I kind of like the fact that there's usually a summary at the end. And this is pretty interesting. So I put in this query here, and the summary is actually telling me that the purpose of this query is to identify destinations with frequent and significant communication events. And this is actually a nice summary because we grabbed this query from the InfoSec app in a panel that was designed to identify command and control traffic. So a nice summarization of what's going on. And then, like I said, tell me about is basically trained based on our Splunk-based documentation. So, maybe you've heard of a lookup, but you don't fully understand what they are or why you'd use them. You can go ahead and paste that in here. We're going to give you a nice kind of short, sweet response. There's a related content button where you can kind of, pop out to our Splunk-based documentation, nice hyperlink right out so that you don't have to go and again, do your searching of Splunk-based docs. So that's really the key capabilities of the AI assistant for SPL. I'll turn it back over to you, Bailey.
Yeah, we had one question come in here. Does the AI assistant help with writing regex for field extract?
Yes, it does. So I have a couple of I tested kind of a couple examples. Like a really great one that's always been a pain in the neck for me is if I'm trying to do a time parsing. So if I have a time string, and I need to turn that into a STRP time format. Basically, I just did a prompt that said, can you please give me turn this time string into an epoch using STRP time, and it gave me the full kind of format there. So I've messed around with a few other data parsing regex types things, and it will absolutely do those as well. So pretty cool.
Want to sign up for a future community office hours? From community.splunk.com, select events, then office hours Ask the Experts to register for a session across platform, security, or observability. Hope to see you in the next one.